Wrestling family, I got a question for you guys. So let's say your favorite wrestling promotion just said that you get to be the next world heavyweight champion of that promotion. Woo-hoo, that sounds amazing. I like that there. I like it. But anyway, let's say before they present you with that title, they're telling you, hey, we want your input on the design, but you only have two options. Option 1 is to get a nameplate in the front, or option 2 is to get the side plates. Which one would you choose and why? I would love to hear what you got to say in the comment section. And by the way, if you're a wrestling fan, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button right now. So we're going to react to this video by John Weigel, one of my favorite YouTubers right now. Honestly, he's so underrated. I don't understand why he doesn't have more subscribers. It is a crime, but hopefully you guys can help him up, go up to that next level. But we're going to discuss side plates versus nameplates and what happened. Why did we get rid of nameplates? Let's get into it.
Here's a wrestling nitpick for you. These are some photos of Brock Lesnar. Now, can you tell me the big difference between these two photos? Yes, correct.
I'm terrible at this. The microphone? No, I'm playing.
Correct. It is the level of yeehaw. But the next big thing is the championship.
Boots on the ground, Brock.
The first photo is circa 2002, after Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship from The Rock at SummerSlam. The next is Brock Lesnar with the WWE Championship in 2022 before WrestleMania 38. Basically 20 years later. Now, in the 2002 photo, we can clearly see Brock's name displayed on the belt. But in the 2022 version, instead, he's got side plates of that evil-looking back tattoo logo. So, when did WWE ditch nameplates? Some of my favorite championships in the company's history had a nameplate on the bottom. Even mid-card and tag titles got some love for a bit there. However, these side plates present stylistic changes that might be more in line with the WWE's current product, which emphasizes, as we know, motion graphic text and digital LED displays over physical stage structures, vignette Titantrons, and templatized nameplate fonts around the lower thirds and on belts. WWE pulled back on physical sets to make their lives easier and less expensive, all while they decided to introduce custom championship side plates for nearly every single wrestler lucky enough to win a title, even the NXT ones. In favor of the side plates, now that we only get text branding for every wrestler via Titantron, it seems like a good idea for WWE to keep the branding consistent across the board. And I'm so freaking sure that they don't hate the revenue they generate from WWE's shop from them. But when did...
Yo, here's my question. This is from a person who doesn't own a title, so maybe what I'm about to say is going to be null and void. If I had a title, I don't know if I would buy another wrestler's side plates to put on that title. Because for me, I would want to get a custom one for myself to just show that this title belongs to me and not another wrestler. But that's just me. I don't know. Which one do you guys do for the people who own a title?
Side plates become a thing? Are they overused today? And most importantly, do we like them? Let's talk history. Nameplates were first introduced on WWE titles more recently than I thought. I mean, way more recently. Or maybe that's just me being a goddamn millennial. The Undisputed Championship was introduced to champion Triple H on the April 1st, 2002 Monday Night Raw. And this belt had a nameplate.
It's gorgeous.
It was the first. That was right after Triple H beat Chris Jericho in the main event of WrestleMania 18, which was, yes, the main event of the night. We went the entire Golden Age, New Generation, and Attitude eras without nameplates. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Maybe it was just a Mandela effect, but I thought they were on everything, but no. Only from 2002 did we actually get Triple H or, Paul London or Eminem written out on a belt. Eyes up here, boys. Things were all well and good for the nameplate until 2013. In 2013, The Rock dumped the spinner belt on its ass for a 3-second tan and introduced the new WWE.
Yo, that John Cena theme song reference is goated, man. It is goated. And by the way, I was so happy. And I'm going to be in a minority when I say this. I was so happy when they got rid of that spinner belt. I hated that belt with every being of me. My heart and my soul hated that title. Because around that time, everything was spinner. It was people who had spinner shoes. Like look up the Spree Roll shoes. They had rims in the shoes, rims on their necklace, rims on their... I'm like, everything doesn't need to spin, bro. I didn't like the title, but I was so happy that they got rid of it. I really was.
WWE Championship belt. This belt is an inch closer to the design today with the pointy logo, instead of the beloved scratchy W. But this belt began a mass turnover in the WWE's championships. And 12 years later, every WWE championship, to my knowledge, has custom side plates for every wrestler. And not only was this an aesthetic decision, but it was also a pretty big business decision. Custom nameplates were all the rage on WWE Shop for anyone that wanted to buy their own replica belt. And I remember you could take a templatized nameplate from your favorite wrestler and in some instances, put your own damn name on there.
That's what I would have done.
Now though, with every title belt ripe for side plates, the company is able to say, well, you know.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's all it's about, man.
Here comes the money.
Not to mention the interesting and highly priced custom replica belt trend WWE has been pushing to take all your rent money, every single cent. But like, who the fuck would buy that?
Who is buying, matter of fact, who is buying that Travis Scott title? Oh, that thing, I think it's $1,000. And that's my team's belt right there. I'm an LA Rams fan, but I would never in my life buy that title. I never would. Look how much. Nah, ain't no way. Ain't no way, man. I got rent. I got bills. No.
Buy this thing. Who would buy this? But no question.
Exactly.
This change was a good one for the company's bank account, and it helped usher in a new era of belt sales. But is it a change that we like? Okay, although I will admit at times it does look a bit corny and lend itself to price gouging at times,
yeah,
I think it's a pretty cool change. I grew up on nameplates and templatized lower third graphics, so the wrestler had to really stand out in other ways. Side plates bring an extra layer for customization to championship belts, which had some design flaws for about 10 years or so there, but in my opinion, this is the best they've looked actually since the Ruthless Aggression era. Although they clearly sacrificed what I think is some classiness by getting rid of the nameplates, the side plates do add a new dimension and help accentuate a wrestler's personality. I can take some dumbass cartoony side plates as long as I get sick ones like Kevin Owens or Rhea Ripley. Especially for the current WWE product, branding and logos really matter, and I get that. That's how they sell merch. Customer product sales for WWE reached over $44 million in 2022, and I'm sure it has not slowed down since then. And the TKO acquisition has only pushed their agenda for profit further, hence WrestleMania being sponsored by fucking dude wipes and Fatal Fury of all things.
Yo, you know what? I don't have a big problem with advertisements being on a mat like that. Like I said in my other video, because I'm used to watching UFC and boxing, but I do understand why people don't like it. But the types of advertisers they put on a mat, it sometimes confusing. It's like, how many times in this wrestling match are you gonna remind me to get dude wipes so I can wipe my butt? Like, what are you trying to say? Are you saying the wrestling fans stink and don't wash up? Like, why do we have to see dude? Saturday Night Main Event that dude wiped 50 million times, bro. And then when they have the Cash App sponsorship, I'm telling you, bro, like, you are setting people up by doing that. Because if you owe somebody money and they're watching wrestling and they see the Cash App logo, they're like, oh yeah, you know what? I don't gotta see them on Friday to get my money. They can Cash App me right now. Like, come on, WWE, don't do this to your fans.
It was commissioned by a Saudi prince, I heard. But all right, I can get into WWE's money sucking another day. But the side plates can be a bright spot to the presentation of championship belts when they're used well. They look good. It also helps the wrestler who makes a percentage of their side plates being purchased, I'm sure, as they do for merch. So what's your take on side plates versus nameplates, guys? I'm way more infuriated about other changes to the product. So this one just doesn't read as a huge deal to me necessarily. It's something small. I think it's fine. If the belts are nicer than they were previously and you can get some branding on there, sure, go for it. In my opinion, it just lacks the class of the old belts, but that's not the company's presentation style anymore. There's no big gold, just big W. And by presentation style, I mean toy manufacturing to make that sweet, sweet dough.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Anywho, leave a comment below. Hope you had fun today, and on your way out, be sure to give me a
Ooh, chavo.
I knew he was gonna put the ooh chavo on there, bro. Oh my god. Okay, so I would agree that the face plates or the name plates on the front gives it that classic feel, right? Like one of my my favorite belt of all time is the big gold. You know, that would look weird with side plates, even though we got the World Heavyweight Championship, which is a revised version of that with side plates. But the big gold itself, a big gold belt with that design into it, like, it doesn't need side plates. It keeps it being that, or having that classic feel. It doesn't need anything updated. But I will say this. The difference between the side plates and the name plates to me is that with the nameplate, if they were to continue to do that, it will feel like less, like, what kind of example can I use? If somebody lets you borrow their car until you buy one, right? You know it's not your car. The most you could probably do is put a frame around the license plate, but that's the most customization you can do to that car because you know the car doesn't belong to you. So in that sense, outside of the classiness of the nameplate, it feels like that you're borrowing that title. Like it doesn't really belong to you. right? You're holding it until they come back and take it from you. But when you have the custom nameplates, it's that feeling when you get that brand new car and you can do whatever you want to it. The paint, you could change the radio, you could put new car seats in there, air freshener, play whatever music you want. If you want to keep it dirty, you can, which is real nasty. It just feels like the title belongs to that wrestler. And in order, if you don't like the way my title look, you got to beat me to change it. But that's just how I feel about it. But I like both. They both have their reasons. They both have their times. You know, the classic titles without the nameplates or with the nameplates, they look great. The Winged Eagle looks great. The Big Gold looks great. All those titles look great. But the titles now, having the side plates, add more personality to the titles if the design of the wrestlers' names look great. Like you said, Rhea Ripley, I like Jey Uso, I like Brock Lesnar's, so many other ones. But anyway, as I said before, which ones do you guys like better? The ones with the nameplates, the ones with the side plates, or the one with neither? I would love to hear what you say in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to John Weigel. He makes amazing content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute, peace, have a great day.